a record of events. So how did people back in the day keep a record of events?
They wrote on a piece of paper.
They wrote on a piece of paper.
Journals.
We also learned that another word for journal is diary. So they wrote things down, correct? Alright, think about Native Americans. What did they do? How did they keep a record of events?
Probably write on a tree.
Writing on a tree, okay.
Like writing on paper.
Okay, did Native Americans use words to write things down?
Yes.
How else did they
Tell them.
They would tell them. They would pass on stories, right? They would tell them stories, and they would rehearse these stories. They would learn these stories, and they would pass them on to different generations. Okay, what else?
They probably just get together and run.
Okay, sharing ideas. Symbols. Where would they put symbols?
On trees or some rocks. On rocks.
Rocks, trees.
In dirt.
Okay, dirt. Did they put them on caves?
Yes.
Do you remember what we said about totem poles? How that each thing on a totem pole represented something? So they didn't write words like we write, but they used symbols. And then when they would have those symbols, they would tell what those symbols meant, right? Okay, well, how do we today keep a record of events? Computer. Paper. Journals. Phones. Diaries. How many of you have like Facebook or Instagram? Do you keep a record of event there? What do you mostly put on Facebook and Instagram? Pictures. How many of you have heard of Time Hop? Where Time Hop kind of keeps a record, like it'll pull up and say, 1 year ago you posted this, 2 years ago you posted this. It keeps like a record, right, of what you did.
It's like on YouTube. Like YouTube.
Well, you can put things on YouTube. But Time Hop is like an app that you can pull up different things that you've posted from Facebook or Instagram or whatever you tell it to pull from. Today, we're going to tell our story. I remember yesterday I told you that your assignment was to get some pictures to tell your story, right? So we're going to put them into a Google slide, and we're going to tell our story. So if you'll open up and go to Google Slides, and let's talk about how do we import pictures to Google Slides? Copy and paste, drag and drop. How do we copy and paste using our Chromebooks? Control-C and Control-V. Good. All right, go ahead and pull up Google Slides, and I'll give you a few minutes to post in your pictures. All right, so now that you put your slides into Google Slides, okay, is it important to put them in a certain order? Should we worry about the order we put our pictures in?
No.
We shouldn't? Yes, if we're going to tell a story, does the story go in a certain order?
Yes.
Yes, so we're going to have to put our pictures in a certain order, an order that makes sense to us, right? So, what is it called when we put stories in an order? Do y'all know what it's called from reading class? It's a something of events, yes?
Sequence of
events. So we're going to sequence our pictures to make a certain order. So go ahead and let's stop what we're doing now and sequence our slides to make them make sense. Now you can just click on a slide and drag it to move it. Alright, so let me ask you this. How can our stories or our photos tell our stories without words? The pictures tell about you, okay? The order we put them in kind of makes it help us. What else? How can our stories without words, what do our pictures show?
What happens.
Yeah, what happens. So it's showing an action, right? So our pictures are showing an action. That's how it's going to tell a story. Could we go in through Google Slides or some other software program and record our voice to tell our story? Yes, we could. We're not going to worry about that today. But we're going to get our story finished, and then we're going to present it without words first. And then the next time we're going to stand up and present it to the class, and we're going to tell it with our words, okay? All right, so go ahead and work on getting yours in the right sequence.